trade for you, and it's got these are some of the AI signals.
Hello,
Should I
everybody.
hello, everybody. Good morning.
We are live.
We are live. It's Great Mattsby and the Tesla Tracker, and it is election week. It's just countdown to the election being done, and what I see
Electioning.
is like a big bottleneck for price action. And I don't know. I think the market is completely poised to just rip higher. It just wants to see the election done first.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I'll start with the SPY here. And
Sure.
basically, yeah, last Friday, it just went right back down to the 50. Oh, sorry, that was Thursday. It went down to the 50-day moving average. Friday, it was just in between. And we'll just see weekly charts how basically price is still kind of below the resistance up here. And it's above all that support up here. So, I mean, things are looking pretty close to support being made right there. Even if you put on the linear scale fib right there, support is really close around the 561 too. So I think the possibility for maybe touching support this week and then just going up is there, like a little fake out down and then a rebound. I can see that happening. And QQQ, same situation, resistance up there, support down here, and IWM. It's just kind of in the middle too, right? Resistance up at the 226 and a lot of support below. So no matter which thing you look at, there's a lot of support below. So am I worried about things? No, I'm not. I just think they do have room to scare the markets just to put it down to support before going higher. So I would just consider that a fake out if that would happen. So
Yeah, they tried to make the market look extra scary for the end of October there.
yeah, they sure did.
Those last 2 days, or like on your chart, there's those last 2 weeks even really in October.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do I guess we decided we're going to do our regular Triumvirate show Tuesday night during the election. We're gonna maybe we might. It was Matt's idea. Maybe we could do a little bit of a live how the market's reacting to how the voting's going, because the aftermarket will still be open until 8 p.m. while the polls close at 7:30. Well, I guess in each time zone.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, slowly throughout the night, more and more data will be released, but we'll just be on for maybe
yeah,
the same 2 hours that we usually are. So,
yeah, and Bitcoin will run from 7:30 to 9:30
yep,
while we're doing that.
yeah. I mean, like we could go over Bitcoin first before Tesla, and essentially, my weekly Bitcoin chart, it's basically still at resistance, guys. I'm really looking to see if this can flip to a support, but it's really close to a resistance. So I'm thinking possibly maybe it's ready to break, right? It did try to test that support down below already back in October, right? And now it just is like a bull flag, just keeps on pressing up and up and up, and looks like the way this candle is shaping up, it looks like it wants to go. It just looks like it wants to go higher. So Bitcoin, it looks good. It's at resistance, so we'll see if it can break through this week.
Yeah, all those wicks, it just keeps trying to break higher than that level. Like if
Yeah,
you do one of those, is it Alt L? I think it just like flips or Shift Control Alt L. It shifts, it flips the chart so up is down and down is up, and then it just looks like any chart that you see.
like
All these
support.
wicks are
Yeah,
like dropping down. It looks really weak, right? There you go.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it
When
looks
you
weak. It
invert
looks
it,
like this.
yeah,
Yeah, it looks like it's ready to give up the ghost and just drop. But of
yeah,
course, then you flip it the other way to the way it actually is. No, it's about to give up the ghost and go higher,
yeah.
much higher. Oops, let's see. I've got so many charts now. I'll show my Bitcoin chart. I drew up this morning on the 4 hour. Here we go. It's been in this trendy triangle here for quite a while. It just had two touches on the bottom for the support side of the triangle, and it's been trying to break out ever since. And look, it looks like it has, definitely broken out of the triangle and is casually flipping what was once resistance to support. So it's just a matter of time before we get a new higher high than this, confirming the breakout, and it keeps going higher. And I kind of did a quick Fibonacci extension off of this bottom down here, and I've got these targets. So from 67,459 where it hit. That was the most recent low we had. I predict it would go to the 764 up here at 74,000, back to the 382 at 70,700, on up to the almost just 79,334, back to 76,000, and then finishes up here at 89,507. And it's really interesting. I actually have three different degree waves, and they all come inside this box, around between 91,000 and 87,944. That's my wave 5 target for the smaller degree wave, and it's just the wave 1 up for the larger degree cycle that we're in. So, yeah, I see Bitcoin getting nicer and nicer, and all those miners that we've been getting, and Coin and ConL 2x long of Coin. I'm really excited about seeing what those do next.
Yeah, everything seems to be kind of at support or near for the Bitcoin.
And then here's ConL just sort of independently. I draw these charts. I don't look at Coin, draw a chart, and then go to Con and copy the chart. This is a brand new chart. It's different for every chart I do. So here's ConL just regarded all by its lonesome. And it looked like it had a really good start to this A wave correction. And it just had an extended wider flat of it. It's just like it said, well, we're going to make you think that's really good. And then we're going to drop it one more time. But it should come up to 45.10, give us some support at 34.45, and then extend up to 62,000. I'm sorry, 62,000, $62.32, possibly coming up to 70. And then it should be like a little 5-wave consolidation, maybe. And then we get the larger degree, or maybe it just maybe this ABC extends to get this larger degree overall based on the wave start down here, and this being the wave 1, and this is the wave 2. My first large degree target is $83, the 76.4% of extension. So yeah, from where it's $23 now, that's like a 4x fold almost move. So exciting. All right. What do you want to talk about next, Matt?
I was just going to go jump into Tesla here.
Okay. Oops. Sorry.
I'm
sharing my whole screen so I can show you guys something cool at the end. Actually, I'll just change that.
Yeah, so Tesla, everybody's like, oh god, they're freaking out, but just I wanted to show the daily chart. So back with that 618 fib right there, the 242.44 that I've been mentioning for a couple of weeks now, it's back as support. And what else do you see down there? It's a katana on the daily chart, which is 242.82 is the price of the conversion line and the baseline. Then you got the cloud there. So just on the daily chart alone, lots of support right here. So it is a normal thing, getting rejected by a resistance, going back down to a support before wanting to go higher. So, I mean, people are willing to give up right now, and that's typically the case, giving up at support. So that's not my style. I like it. I think it's a bullish thing to be back testing a support level for a continuation higher. So this is looking better and better in my opinion, and people should be looking at that as an opportunity for the future.
Indeed. And just a quick reminder, a katana is when in the Ichimoku cloud, when the conversion line and the baseline merge, and when they're going in the up direction, typically the conversion line then takes off and starts to spread farther and farther away from the baseline. And a nice bullish run up.
Yeah, and this katana's been lasting for days and days right now, which is pretty cool. So just gotta be patient with it. But it looks like at support before an election is a good idea. It's a good idea. And I have a Coinbase chart too, I think. Sure. First, I just wanted to show the 4-hour Coinbase chart, my 4-hour little GAN. You can just see that 45. It is kind of losing it as a support there, but there's still lots of support below it. And I think it's just trending up. So it's basically pretty close to kind of a support, maybe 177, 176, maybe a little bit lower. I think most of the risk is out of the equation now. You can like the downside risk, I should say.
Yeah.
It just looks like people that gave up on it already or shorted it or whatever, that's already been in play from this previous support drop to a resistance straight down to the next level. So the next level is here for the 4-hour chart, and I think has a really good possibility to continue higher.
Yeah, it's right now it's just sort of oscillating around that GAN diagonal trend line.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it could drop down to the I guess I would close that. There's kind of a gap over there way back in 14th of October.
Yeah,
You know,
11,
it could do
14.
that. It doesn't have to.
Yeah,
You
either
can
way, it's looking near a support before an election, kind of like what Tesla's doing right now too. So it's something that I think is a good thing to be at support before a big narrative, right?
Yep.
So, do you have a Tesla chart or?
Yeah, I'll show everyone the Tesla chart I was showing you earlier, before the show. Where are you? There we go. I just simply went back and I guess I could have done this earlier on. I just didn't want to believe it. Well, no, I guess I still don't believe it. So this is the God candle that we had last week here, from this low of 212.79 up to this high of 273.47, and right now it is exactly bouncing off the 50% retrace. It's the halfway point between the two prices, and if that holds, and Matt's got a lot of support there, then it's going to look really good. I just wanted to caution people if we did get a loss below 243.13, then the standard retrace for one of these moves is the 618 at 235.97, or if it wants to get really you know mean about it, the 76.4% retrace at 227.11. It's still bullish. It's just like retracing part of the move before going higher again. It does not have to go to 235 or 227. This 243 could hold as support and then just keep moving higher. And so, between now and here, this is the 15-minute chart. This is how many 15-minute blocks we have left between now and the market open on Wednesday, November 6th. It could just decide to go sideways. I don't know. We'll see. It was almost barcoding up here, and then kind of barcoded here, and then keeps just dropping. But now it's just gotta either lose it or maybe go back up to the here again, which makes sense actually. I kind of like to see it, kind of whatever it does, get closer to being right at the previous high just before the market opens, so we can just do this then. And that's what I'm looking for. And I'm bullishly positioned in TSLL, the
Yeah.
2X ETF, bullish ETF of Tesla. I'm looking to make some more money on it.
Yeah, and there's a question: will you start buying Tesla at this level? Then, I mean, you've been
Mm,
buying lower, right?
my Tesla, I had bought lower. Then I decided, you know what? I'm not satisfied with that. And I just wanted to get more money to buy more Tesla. So if I go to my 1 week chart, eh, eh, scroll. Um, I've been telling you guys about this 290.13 test first. If it has a if it hits significant resistance like right out the gate at 290, then I might sell my TSLL and then see if I can catch it down lower again. Might even swing some TSLZ, but I'm expecting it to just go past 290. And if we can get to like 300 real soon, um, I'll probably end up holding my TSL all the way to the 430s and look for this pullback to 336. I'd sell TSL here, buy TSLZ, buy TSLL again at 336. And when we get to the end of the cycle, 610 or 709 or 1085, then I'll buy TSLZ one last time, ride the correction or consolidation, and then I'll buy my TSL A. I'll buy my regular shares, my common shares of Tesla, around here for maybe $700 or 400, 450. And I'll pay more for it then, but the goal is to have made more with TSLL, getting up to here first before I buy my common shares, and that is my strategy.
Very
and
good.
then I'll hold those common shares for.
Yeah, as for me, like I did most of my buying a lot lower, so I don't even
Yeah,
know if I will be buying more. But I know people that want to buy around these levels, like low
yeah,
240s, high 230s, around there. So it's
yeah.
not a
If you
bad
got
place.
common shares prices anywhere in this zone here between 260 and 138, just hang on to them. They're going to be great.
Yeah.
No worries.
All right. I see a request for Crocs, so I got that on my screen here.
Okay.
And Crocs, yes, retesting a 618 fib down here from the high to the low back here in June. We can put a linear fib on there, see what that is. And it is breaking below that 50% level. So could it come back down to this 98? Yeah, that is a possibility. And I think that could be maybe a max pain scenario for Crocs since it's kind of like breaking through levels. It's also kind of breaking through the 618. So we can just consider maybe 98 down here, like really a support zone for Crocs, I think. So
Yeah.
is it good? I mean, high time frame is still fine, but it had some weakness, right, from losing this blue level of my GAN. Like it just could not really break above it. So then it just went lower. And now it made a lower low from these weeks prior. So the momentum still could be a little bit to the downside, just a little bit below 100. And then once that hits, I think it possibly could rebound and recover.
Yeah, I got a Crocs chart too, which kind of just says the same thing that you've got. Yep, here we go. So, based off of the pandemic low here to this post-pandemic high, November 15th of 2022. I'm sorry, 2021. Back to here. I'm projecting it did a 618,236, which then targets the 1236. It just went a little, it fell a little lower here and went a little lower there. Maybe I should lower this just a little bit as well. But as long if it can hold up here real soon, I'll show you that I just had done a retrace for myself from the high that it hit, retracing back to the most recent low. We are just slightly under the 618. So that might have been like them trying to freak us out. In fact, what is it right now? That might have been trying to freak us out at the end of October. And see, look, and now it's kind of trying to swing back over the 618. So if this 108.88 can hold a support, get above it, test back to it, and keep moving back up again, then we should be back to back on course for about 264 in no time flat. Just make sure it doesn't drop below. Like then, like the worst you could get again would, if you want to get really nasty about it, 95.55 is a 76.4% retrace. So if you're in it, just keep holding. Maybe if you wanted to stop loss, do a mental stop loss below $90. But don't put a stop loss there. They'll rate it and they'll steal your shares.
Yeah, and I think below 100 is possible, but that could be, like I said, maybe 98, 97. Could be maybe a max pain scenario.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe a little bit lower, down to the
And
90.
just
Yeah.
on the way from my wave 2 to my wave 3 target, it's just kind of going up and over and up and down and up and over and up and down. That's just how these things do. They like to. You
Yeah.
hear it's on the top side of it, the trend. It's on the bottom side of the trend. It's the top side of the trend. It's on the bottom side of the trend. It just
Yep.
likes to oscillate.
Yep. Until it can break that resistance above.
Correct. This one right here at 165.32.
Yep.
All right, what's next?
I see Palantir here, so I'll jump on that. And there's no change for Palantir. Basically, the $45 is resistance, right? And that's been clear for the past couple of weeks. And support is still my arc and the angle below, just around $40. So I think $40 or high 30s could be a target. Like maybe this week it could even wick through with some volatility. That could be an opportunity, but I still expect this angle to hold as a support and a good thing for a continuation up to the 70s and beyond. So I think right now it's just cooling off a little bit, and there are earnings after the bell today. So we'll see if their growth really warrants this kind of move or not, right? And if it's like really volatile, could it come back down to the mid 30s? That could be a possibility, but I don't see it really lasting there for very long.
I mean, it's always really exciting when we have like an earnings like this, and like I see your tiny little gap in your GAN charts. Like
Yeah.
maybe like at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it like wicks down, touches that gap, and then just goes back up again and
Yeah.
starts to go higher maybe. Um,
Yeah.
Palantir, I've got just a quick chart on it, just saying, from where we are now, it's extended farther than it normally would have for one of my ABC, sorry, one of my 5 impulsive waves up. So either it's got to keep extending, and we'll get to this 1382 at 54.27. Why do I have 53.74? Oh, because I was doing it this way. It'll either get to like 53.54, or it just won't be able to get above resistance, and it'll have to drop back down to like 30.36. But Matt's chart doesn't support this. So maybe what we're really going to see is 45's resistance, 45's resistance. Finally, we get over 45. Like I said, about 54.27, and then it drops back and it touches where we just were. 45 is final support before moving on higher
Yeah.
to the
Well, I mean,
70s,
they
the
could do
80s.
that. They could wick it down really low because it's the beginning of the week. They have the whole week to bring it back up above support later on. So they could bring it back down to those low levels like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, just to freak
Yeah,
out
so
markets. Yeah.
maybe just for funsies, put some limited orders in for like 33, 35, and maybe you'll be lucky and catch it on a crazy wick. But don't look for it. Don't sell your shares and look to buy back thousands and thousands of shares down here, because it probably won't happen. If it does run down, it'll just be really fast and back up again.
Yeah. And there's a request for GME next. I think you got a good GME chart. Yeah.
Yeah, my GME hasn't changed. It's still the same story because we have not broken lower than, excuse me, 995 nor the 1757. 1757 was where basically this is the wave start. This is your wave one, way up here where it ran up to $80 almost. Well, it did run up to $80. Then came all the way back down, and 1757 was the wave two bottom. And then now we've had a failure to launch and then falls back down, but it never went below 1757. So as long as this stays my wave two bottom, my wave three wants to test typically $71 next, $71.09, back to 44.33. And if it doesn't fail there, then it goes on to 114. And then after that, it becomes more and more just kind of crazy improbable, maybe, but it's possible. It just has to hit this price and then not fall below that price to get to that price. And it has to not fall below that price to get to 184.43. It's just how long this will take. My chart does not tell me that. I can only tell you price target. My next probable price target, I can't tell you timing. Not the way Matt's magical Gann charts do.
Yeah. Mine is nothing is changed for mine either. It's just stuck in a range for me. So it looks a little bit more bullish, but it's still stuck.
Yeah, it's like building more and more support. The longer it stays here, the tighter the Bollinger Bands get. In fact, should I just BB? Yeah, and then this is a one week chart, and the bands are getting kind of tight here.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 month is better to look at. Yeah, it could. As it gets squeezy, it wants to go really hard in one direction when it does come out. And it kind of looks like the red tongue is pointing up just a little bit. All right, so let's see. I'm looking through the requests too now. A lot of good mornings. Good morning, everybody. We're happy to see you. We did Palantir, we did GME.
There's a
Rivian.
yeah. I
Yeah,
don't like these kind of charts, but I think it's kind of trying to form a base, so it possibly can go higher.
it is. I think my chart's weekly. It's Bollinger Bands kind of getting tight too. Turn this off for a second. Why do I not have? I think I just said avoid this, and I just never did any more TA on it. Like, I don't like Rivian.
It has a potential of not being a falling knife anymore, but it's just
Yeah, I guess I should be fair to it and say if it can hold support and doesn't go any lower than 832, looks like 832, and then back to the all-time high of 179.47, then where are you? There. Then it might try to get to 73, like the ABC retrace to go back. Like if they really pull it out of the fire somehow and can start making start doing production at scale the way Tesla does, then yeah, it would try to do $73, test back to 48, and then and then 114.09. But just look out because when it starts to lose support, like it was trying to get support here, it tried to break out and then fell and got a new lower low, and then tried to break out lower high, and it's just a few dollars. It's just a couple dollars away from a new lower low. So watch out. If it drops below 832, then just there are better charts out there. That's what Matt and I will always tell you when we see something like this.
Yeah, there are.
Better,
There's no point.
better ways to spend your money.
Exactly. I see a request for a hood, but I'm going to jump on INVX first because I see that. Basically, do I like it? I mean, it's kind of losing a 236. It's kind of losing that angle. But what I really might expect it to see now is just going back to these moving averages down below for like a final retest. And also, this is like a previous resistance zone. So everything still looks like it's still trying to flip to a support. It just might take a lot longer than expected. So we'll see. I mean, this thing can be very volatile, but it already had an explosive move. So it just looks like it's in the beginning stages of doing its back test kind of a thing. And can it go down to the mid eights? Yeah, sure it can. But I think that could be the opportunity for it. So I do still like it, but just being patient with it.
I've got a quick retrace to share with everybody for NVAX.
Yeah.
So it is from the all-time, well, I'm not all-time high, for the most recent high, retracing back to the most recent low that it had. It's already crossed the 61.8. In fact, it did it twice now. So it looks much more probable that it will want to touch $8.33 for the 76.4% retrace. If it loses below 833, I would this thing will probably go back into hibernation for a little bit and then have to rebuild a base down here.
Yeah, if it loses like the mid eights to me, I'll just get out of it. So, but until then, I think it still looks fine.
But the magic number here is 833. It should hold near 833. It could go 831, 830. That's okay. But it really should get back above 833 and then start building up higher again. And once it does, if it can, then I've got a much higher target for NVAX.
Yeah.
Just crazy high. So let's see if it can withstand what's going on right now.
Yeah. All right, let's go to hood. You got some hood?
I have something's good in the hood. Yeah. This one looks like a lot like the other chart we were just looking at, where it was following this trend line and then fell back a good ways. Let's see how far it fell back. From the most recent high back to the most recent low. It has not even gotten to the 38.2. Well, actually, it did. It wicked right to the 38.2. So it needs to get back to. I should look at this on a smaller time scale. Make sure it hasn't already done all this. Oh, kind of already did. So you went 382 past the 236 to the 16.18. Trying to hold this 382. If it can stay above $23, then it will continue on to my next target of $32. But if it loses $23, it makes a test all the way back to 1956 more likely. As long as it holds 23, that's a double bottom so far. Bing, bing. I still like this one for $32 next. And then it comes back and then retests $25 before heading on higher to 43. And, Robinhood, right? The markets are going to be taken off. Everyone's going to be excited. They're going to be investing more money in the market. Means more fees for Robinhood. More market interest means more money for them. Well, unless they just do something to really blow their reputation. This should probably hold up. $23.
Yeah, I think even this conversion line has an opportunity to open. I think if you do the math, this 2364 might turn into a 2371, and pre-market is 2376. So I think the conversion line still has a good opportunity to possibly holding that support there. So I'm just really focused on that line around. It should be 2371 opening up soon. So therefore, I want to see it get back above that and back above the 50% level 2, 2406. Just complete this previous resistance, flip to support, and then possibly continue higher. That's what I'm looking at for hood.
Very nice. I just want to address F. Williams' comment here. Not all bad news, please. Please don't hurt me with the bad news. I think the bad news is mostly over. Like October, they just really tried to shake that tree so hard and try to break as many charts as they could. And so like the last 2 weeks and the last 2 days of October, like it's terrifying. And my portfolio like went down like 10% or 7% or something like that. But then like by the end of the day on Friday, it was like right back to where it was 2 days ago. It was like it's fine. It's just a blip.
Yeah.
Whenever, yeah, if you get really scared, just hang out. Give the market a couple days and see if things don't get better.
Yeah.
Ooh, Meta. There's a Meta.
I see Meta, and I have a Unity up here first,
You
and
can do you do yours first.
it's just basically back testing the conversion line, baseline, that area right there. But these kind of charts, they're still not my style, just because it's not that bullish still. It's still making lower lows on the high time frame. So does it have the opportunity to come back up to the $24, $25 zone? Yeah, it sure does up here. But just if it loses the support here, it has the also the opportunity to go back much lower again, back in the 16s, 15s, and lower. So just not my kind of style. I don't know if you see something different, Tracker.
Let me see. What is the ticker for that? NUN.
No, you.
Oh, it's just you.
Yeah.
Unity software. Oh, they got lucky to get in that though. Single character ticker. I don't have a chart for this, but let's take a look. Let's take a look way out. Okay, it's not that old. Let's take a look on the weekly chart. Oh yeah, yeah. This one's it has that look of the falling knife still. Just like Matt said, there have been places in the past where it looks like it was going to pull it out of the fire, and then fell again, and then fell deeper. And now what was once support is now resistance. That's not good. So just wait. If once I would say, be more interested when it gets back over 25, because that kind of means it got through these wicks down here. Um, yeah, and once I can get, and also it doesn't really have a great 1-2 yet. I mean, I could draw a chart off of this. I'll do a quick chart off this. What should it look like? Let's try this one here. And switch it to the right side. And from this potential wave 2 bottom, it would go 2666 back to 2306 up to 32 to 2889 and then 4193. And that looks pretty smart with what's happened in the past. I kind of like that chart. You can make this a little bigger. I'll make these numbers bigger. You can take a screenshot for yourself. There you go, Unity. So if it wants to be bullish and do all this, it's got to hold 1945. It can't make a new lower low than 1945. If it does, all this means nothing, and you just have to start a new chart. There's my Unity. And we were doing Meta. I've got a bit more of a chart for this one all done because we talked about this in weeks past. I think Meta wants to go to 679 next, like almost 680. But then like come all the way back and retest this area that was resistance before, around 540, before it goes on up to 1,000. That's my long-term Meta chart. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I have mine pulled up here. Yeah, I think Meta, like I just did a quick little fib from this high to that low, and it's kind of losing that 1.272, 568, 67. So maybe it wants to backtest the 540s first down here before it wants to go higher. It looks like it is.
It could do that 540 one more time. After it was resistance, broke above it, and it has to test back to it one more time for support. I could definitely see that.
But then when I do the linear scale, it is holding that fib perfectly. So it's like giving me mixed signals right there. The 563 is 31. Just watch that level. If that continues to hold week over week, then maybe it doesn't need to go back down there. But I'm just seeing it's a possibility if it gets a little bit weaker. But currently, it's holding it like a champ. So just got to watch that.
Let's see, 1674, 100%. Yeah, it really feels like it should hold this level that it's at.
Yeah,
we'll see. It wants to protect. It wants to scare everyone that's going to go back to 540 again, I think.
Yeah, so maybe it won't. Maybe these 560s will hold, and then maybe it can bounce from there. I see a MSTX for you. That's more your style.
Oh yeah. I got an MSTX. Hang on.
Yeah.
Let's pull this out here. All right, MSTX. Yeah, this one. Yeah, it's a brand new thing. It's a 2x ETF of MicroStrategy, and it's had a really great start, and it's been having a really great run. It's just that just in this last couple weeks, it's been kind of trying to scare us again. Let's see what kind of retrace we have here. From here back to all the way back down to here. Why? It hasn't quite hit the 61.8% retrace. So the 50 didn't hold. I guess it's possible that that might want to touch $42 and, well, basically $43, $42.91. It might want to touch that. It also kind of came close to doing it though. We're back up. What does it look like on the, see, we've had the whole weekend since that last thing. Oh no, look, it already did it. It already went down below 42 and now we're above it. I think the 618 will hold. So we're done with 4301. It did a wick up here in pre-market. Yep, here at 8:15, it touched $45.72. So I think we're just back on course. Let me just adjust this. Go back to the weekly chart. Let's do a daily chart. It's just a bit of a diagonal. I think I talked about this before. It should have held 43 as much better support. I guess this wick maybe doesn't count as badly. I'm going to get rid of my retrace because it's in the way. 100%, 200, 21C, 764, 382, to 200%. 100%. I'm not sure. This might go to 300%, but let's just be safe and call the 2618 for now. So $70.82 is my next target for MicroStrategy. But that said, I do want to put a 300% on here because of the progression it's been making so far. It went 200%, 100%, 300% wouldn't be out of the question. Maybe I'll even just put a box around this and say that the top of my my MSTX range is here between 77 and 71. So bullish on this.
I think that's going to be all the time I have for today.
Okay.
Can't get to all of them. Got to do my private live stream right now. But yeah, you can catch us tomorrow morning and tomorrow evening as well for the Triumvirate.
I had one last real quick thing I want to show people, and then I'll let you go.
Go ahead.
It's this new tool that one of my followers paid for a month of it. It's it's trade-ideas.com. And what they do is they have this incredible living relational database of all stocks and all their prices throughout time, and can do all these crazy back tests. And they've got these AI tools, and they've got these setups that like look for, all right, I want the stock that has the most volume going on right now, and it's also testing new highs and blah, yada yada yada. So here's like the list of the current stocks right now. The 8:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Upwork has got a new high, and so like here's their chart. They're not giving like targets and stuff here, but they just think that it's in a trend to want to just keep going. Oh, and earnings are in 2 days. A big one here that I picked out on Friday was this Nexalin Technologies. And I'll go back to my chart. And once I saw that I had this Nexalin on here, then I wanted to look at it, and I did. So it went up almost 27% on Friday, and now it's still testing. It's getting ready to make even more new highs. So anyway, long story short, if you guys want to try something really cool, maybe buy a few shares of this next NXL, because I think it's going to go to at least another 48% gain to $4.42, possibly to $5.25 for another 75% gain. Then it retests if it can hold 368, no matter which one it goes to, 525 or 442. $3.68 should hold, and that would put it on the path for $8.40. It's kind of cool that I've got this new tool. It just picks out stocks I've never even heard of. Nobody's, no one I know is watching them. Look at this. Look at all this institutional buying here. This thing is a powerhouse. Buy a few shares of it, and then subscribe to me for $2 a month, and I'll keep up with you with it, and I'll show you lots more of these every day. I'll have something like this NXL, thanks to this cool new tool I've got. And thank you for giving me your extra time there, Matt. I will let you go, and we'll be back with a Triverse show Tuesday night, tomorrow night, during the election, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, very good. All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you, Matt. We'll talk to you.